come undisputed and things like that. But once he got it, he like basically like, what the hell? And that's you can see with Floyd too. Floyd really was like that too. He really like.
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach were gearing up for their March 1st lightweight title showdown when an unexpected guest interrupted their media session.
1, 2, 3. Good stuff.
During their pre-fight media session, Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach were caught off guard when Floyd Mayweather unexpectedly crashed the event. Unbothered, Davis confronted him, igniting a heated brawl. As those nearby scrambled to break them up, Davis and Mayweather still managed to get physical, with Floyd having the last laugh after shoving Davis. This marked their first face-to-face encounter since their fight last April. The tension began when Mayweather criticized modern boxers in a Fight Hype interview, claiming they were too focused on luxury and neglecting their skills. Things escalated when he dragged Shakur Stevenson into the mix, spread false claims about Davis's fights, and mocked the Baltimore champion.
Those are lifetime losses. And you know, as long as you know you went out there and gave it 100% in that square circle, if you know you gave it 100% and you happy with what you did when you went out there, then that's what it is.
The worst part was Mayweather not only siding against Davis in his last fight, but also behaving in a way unbefitting of a boxing legend. He was so eager for Davis to lose that he didn't stop at simply announcing the fight's cancellation on Instagram. He even called what should have been an easy win for Davis a 50-50 fight, and went as far as giving Frank Martin tips on how to beat Tank. This time, Mayweather's feud with Gervonta Davis consumed him so much that he secretly called Davis's opponent, Frank Martin, to give him tips on how to secure a win. Whether Martin ignored the advice or Floyd's strategy simply wasn't enough remains unclear. However, on fight night, Martin put on an impressive performance in the early rounds but ultimately fell short. At 1 minute and 49 seconds into the 8th round, a devastating blow from Davis sent him crashing to the canvas, securing Tank's 30th career victory. But the real problem wasn't even the fight itself. It was Floyd Mayweather's involvement. His ongoing feud with Gervonta Davis has become one of the most intense mentor versus protege rivalries in recent history. In one of his pre-fight interviews, Frank Martin admitted that Mayweather had helped him in some way leading up to the bout. It was clear that Floyd saw this as an opportunity to get back at Davis for what he perceived as disrespect.
Race guys, so what was being around talking to Floyd? Like, what has Floyd taught you about fighting? And has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does.
Boxing fans and professionals were stunned when Frank the Ghost Martin revealed he had been receiving advice from Gervonta Davis's former mentor and promoter, Floyd Mayweather. The highly anticipated lightweight showdown took place on June 15th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, where Davis and Martin went head-to-head. In the end, Gervonta Tank Davis retained his WBA title, proving once again why he remains one of the most dominant forces in the division.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, cause no.
As expected, the trash talk between Davis and Martin was in full swing leading up to the fight. Despite the heated exchanges, Tank Davis remained the heavy favorite. However, in an appearance on the Pivot podcast, shared on YouTube before the fight, Frank Martin revealed that Floyd "Money" Mayweather had been giving him advice inspired by Mike Tyson's style, hoping to give him the edge against Gervonta Davis.
My thing is, I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion.
Frank Martin admitted that receiving advice from Floyd Mayweather gave him a unique sense of confidence. In response to the backlash, Mayweather fired back at critics, saying, I do what I want and support whoever I feel. How is that a crime? What's wrong with Frank coming to me for advice? If Tank came, I'd advise him too. So what's the problem y'all have with me? Despite their past differences, Mayweather had remained in Davis's corner even after their split. For the most part, Davis respected the former world champion. However, leading up to the Davis-Martin fight, alliances clearly shifted.
Become world champion and take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great.
Following the highly publicized online clash between Tank and Mayweather last month, when asked if he had learned anything from Floyd Mayweather before the fight, Martin shared some valuable insight. He mentioned that Floyd once told him to go run at 2 a.m. because, 9 times out of 10, the opponent would be asleep at that time. While Martin didn't necessarily need to train during those hours, he explained that doing so would give him a mental edge over his opponent. He emphasized that these are the small details that can make a huge difference in the end, noting that it wasn't groundbreaking advice, but coming from someone like Floyd, who has reached the pinnacle of the sport, it carries extra weight.
9 out of 10, we know your opponent's sleep at that time. So go run at 2 in the morning and go give yourself a mental edge, because you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running.
You're going to take a lot of heat for it, and it's going to give you a different type of motivation when you do it, said Martin. He also mentioned that even if a boxer can't perfectly mimic Floyd's techniques, it still provides a unique feeling and mental edge. Interestingly, this is exactly what Mike Tyson used to do before his fights to gain a mental advantage over his opponents. Tyson's routine, including running at 3 a.m. and chopping wood, helped him become the youngest heavyweight champion, and later an undisputed champion. Despite the mental preparation from Tyson and Floyd's advice, neither was enough to stop Tank Davis on fight night. After a year-long layoff due to a hit-and-run case and 90 days spent in a Baltimore prison, Davis came out on top with an 8th-round knockout.
Claims on X that your fight was canceled the last couple of weeks.
He's the one told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock.
The gap in his resume didn't dull his skills in the ring. Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in his last outing in April last year and followed it up with a similar result against Frank Martin. In fact, leading up to Davis's fight against Martin, Mayweather urged his fans to watch UFC instead. After the two exchanged shots on social media, famous boxing reporter Michael Benson posted about it, adding to the ongoing drama between the fighters.
So, he was giving Frank the tips.
Really? How do you know that? It's word of mouth.
I seen
Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis continued their feud as Mayweather trolled Tank by posting that the Frank Martin fight had been canceled. Tank responded saying, "Keep talking and I'll pull up to your house and lay hands on you." Davis went on to knock out Martin in brutal fashion on Saturday. After the fight, the boxing superstar revealed that Mayweather had tried to give Frank tips on how to beat him. Davis stated, "He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that, but I know for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool, it's all right. I don't really think too much of it. He's not going to hurt me, you know what I mean? It's better to beef with him than to be cool with him."
his people's drive by while I was
Oh, really? So they were like spying or kind of?
No. He got a club.
"You know, Floyd Mayweather was the one who told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock, said Gervonta Davis. At one point, Davis had expressed his willingness to deal with Floyd in the ring, even mentioning his name among his contemporaries. Speaking to Davis Najee from Cigar Talk, the topic of a potential fight with Mayweather came up, which prompted a profound response from the Baltimore native. "A lot of people don't know what Floyd does. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went to him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd," said Davis, referring to Mayweather's initial comment that he thought was directed at him.
Oh, okay.
I knew for sure that wasn't going to be.
When Najee pointed out that over the years, Davis and Floyd's dynamic seemed like a love-hate relationship, Davis completely denied it, claiming he had surpassed Floyd's legacy. "I'm about at that point where I have passed him, and I'm doing it at a young age," said Tank. However, Davis wasn't done proving his point. He went on to reveal a new deal he had signed, mentioning that Mayweather's deal with Showtime in 2013 was worth $200 million. "That deal I'm talking about, he doesn't know about that yet. That's bigger than his deal," said the lightweight champion. However, Davis didn't disclose the amount of the mega deal he signed with PBC.
Yeah,
Care to elaborate on that?
out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
As a result, many expected Davis to lay out a plan for a more productive 2025, with more fights, increased activity, and hopefully some big events under his GTD promotions. However, it all came crashing down when fans realized the announcement was actually about his retirement. Davis, 30, will stand across from Roach Jr., 29, on March 1st, where he will defend his World Boxing Association title for the second time.
For the sport?
Fans expected Davis to carry on the momentum he gained from the Frank Martin fight this June. Instead, he gave fans an ultimatum, declaring that he is on his last run in boxing, which will end in 2025. "After next year, I'm out of the sport," he stated. But why is Tank eager to embrace the comforts of retirement at just 30? What about the fans and his ambition to put on a show for them? It seems like it's all becoming a bit too boring for Davis. He shared his candid thoughts about his decision to retire during an interview with Fight Hub TV.
Homecoming fight, Tank Bolton. How about a homecoming fight?
You lost the love?
The 30-0 record holder admitted he lost interest in the sweet science and grew weary of it. He declared, "It's trash. This sport is trash. Garbage. Fed up with the whole sport." These comments didn't sit well with most fans, especially those who had campaigned for him to take on tougher fights and face the best in the division. However, Davis found solace in making strategic calls, earning money, and doing what he liked most, knocking out opponents.
Like you were talking about, the time was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously
The question remains, how will the fans remember the Baltimore native, and how will they judge his legacy? Davis addressed this question during a conversation with Fight Hype. When asked if he would insert his name among the greatest, the World Boxing Association champion responded, "I don't even care about that, bro. I don't even care about that. And where I'm from, bro, I will forever be the greatest. I will be a forever G to myself." While the fans have only a year to enjoy Davis's explosive boxing and backflips in the ring, it doesn't mean his fight with Roach Jr. will be his last.
You said you know your next fights. Can we know who they are?
Probably the Ryan, hopefully.
Davis could still squeeze in a couple of fights in 2025 before drawing the curtains on his pro career. What's more, the lightweight champion is still under a multi-fight contract with PBC, which spans 6 to 7 fights and reportedly includes a clause to fight Shakur Stevenson. However, it's unclear what will happen to his contractual obligations now. No one is sure how the situation will unfold, and it remains to be seen whether Davis is truly committed to sticking to his retirement plan.
Shakur, what have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more.
Davis returns to action at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn this March, defending his World Boxing Association lightweight title against current super featherweight champion Lamont Roach. During the launch press conference, Tank revealed his plan to leave the sport at the end of 2025 and named 3 fighters he plans to face before hanging up the gloves. The first of those will be against Roach in March, and he told Fight Hub TV that his other 2 picks will likely include Ryan Garcia as his first choice.
Better than him. The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming it. name, he haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
Davis and Garcia met back in April 2023, with Tank dropping his opponent twice on his way to a 7th-round knockout win, handing King Rai his first professional defeat. Garcia is currently serving a 1-year ban after failing a drug test for his fight with Devin Haney, but is eligible to return to the ring in April 2025, potentially paving the way for a summer showdown with Davis. Tank then revealed he would like to take on Teofimo Lopez before potentially retiring, adding, "Yeah, I do Teo. I'll slap the hell out of him when I see him."
What do you say to those who
I
might
keep
be
saying his
afraid?
name for.
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what?
Lopez is the current World Boxing Organization's super lightweight champion, having won the belt against Josh Taylor in June 2023 and defending it on 2 occasions since. A fight between Davis and Lopez has been talked about for years by boxing fans, and one man who has shared the ring with both has given his prediction for how the clash would go. As for his fight against Lamont Roach, Davis has prepared the fans for what to expect with an exciting press conference. Tank Davis formally announced his March 1st fight with Lamont Roach this evening, with the official press conference concluding moments ago. There's been a lot of talk about Tank's choice of opponent, and when Roach got the first crack at the podium, he shared his thoughts with the public.
How much you want to bet? Because I came up here alone. How much I want to bet? How much you want to bet? Just call it out. Huh? 100? That's a bet.
"I'm excited to be a part of this, and come March 1st, it's going to be a great event," said Roach. "Right now, I'm not really big on getting into it and stuff like that. I'm really out of it right now, but come March 1st, it's going to be a great show. Same results, we just gotta wait and see. We've got 3 months to get ready, so it'll be a goodie. This is a hell of an opportunity, so we're going to conquer it." Roach continued, "Everybody knows what I'm coming here to do. If you don't, then stop, you're going to be in for a surprise. I know he won't be surprised. I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all that, people talking stuff about the fight. I think he took the fight because he knows I'm a dog, and he wants to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm going to show you all what happens when 2 dogs get in the ring together. And obviously, I'm going to be the one coming out victorious." Tank would then get his turn to speak his piece.
Choice for you in your next fight?
He has skills. Even though he's at a smaller weight class, I feel as though Lamont have, and he's someone that's one of the guys that...
At that point, both fighters took a seat to dive into a more in-depth discussion about the fight and everything surrounding it. Here are a few excerpts. Tank on why a fight with Lomachenko didn't go through, and why Roach was the next logical choice for him. "He has skills. Even though he is at a smaller weight class, I feel like Lamont has those skills. He's actually one of the guys I came up with in the sport of boxing, still doing well. Everybody that started with us really isn't in the picture right now, so people don't really, I would say, know him, but he definitely has the skills. Definitely a top opponent,
I actually started with, came up with in the sport of boxing. Actually, still doing well. Everybody that's started with us.
Roach on how his style will be different from what Tank has faced previously. "Skill-wise, I bring a lot to the table. I can adapt. I can fight various different styles. I'm tough. I'm gritty. I'm smart. I'm witty. Whatever the case may be. Whatever I got to pull out of my bag of tricks, that's what I'm going to do. The rest of them either were one-trick ponies or just didn't have enough." As for Tank Davis, the American fighter, famous for his knockout power both inside the ring and with his comments outside of it, is growing weary of doing it all. Instead of solidifying his resume and legacy as one of the greatest, he might be looking for an early exit. Fans have seen very little of him in the past couple of years, and they expected him to be more active after putting his legal troubles behind him. The champion seemed to follow through for a while, fighting Frank Martin in June. But despite the promises and rumors, his return was only prolonged. Now, it seems he might be willing to make his absence permanent. During the first official press conference for Davis versus Roach, Tank lifted the veil on what fans can expect from him.
Frank Martin press conference. It looked like you were like, talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment. And now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously...
When asked about what his schedule in 2025 looked like, Davis straight away hinted at hanging up the gloves. After next year, I'm out of it, out of the sport, he said. This declaration didn't sit well with the fans, who had gotten used to him stepping inside the ring occasionally. They didn't shy away from expressing their disappointment and discontent, flooding the comment section with their thoughts. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications to be alerted when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.